This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by the law offices of Tunnell and Raysor.
An important part of getting through life is dealing with things that are difficult to handle, like a divorce.
Yeah, not only can a divorce cause emotional and mental pain, but the whole process can leave you feeling lonely too.
However, if there is one thing that we've learned from our friends at the law offices of Tunnell and Raysor, it's that you're not alone. Delmarva Life's Sydney Whitfield sat down with the Family Law Department's lead counsel to learn how to make the process as simple as possible.
Getting a divorce. It can be challenging, to say the least, but the team at the law offices of Tunnell and Raysor say expert advice can make all the difference during this tough time.
So going through a divorce is a very difficult process, and it's very important for people to have a good attorney helping them through that process and giving them advice along the way. There's a lot of pitfalls that people can fall into that can cause problems down the road, and it's just wise to have an attorney helping you through that process.
But before we get into the process of getting a divorce, attorney Dean Betts, the lead counsel of the Family Law Department at Tunnell and Raysor, says you should know about the different types of divorce.
A no-fault divorce is where one spouse alleges that the parties are simply incompatible with each other. They don't get along anymore, and that it's caused them to separate, and they don't think that they're ever going to get back together.
And he says you should also understand the grounds of an uncontested divorce.
So an uncontested divorce is where the spouse against whom a divorce petition has been filed agrees that the parties should get divorced on the grounds that are stated in the petition. And so if it's an uncontested divorce, meaning the other spouse agrees that they should be divorced, the court will generally not need to hold a hearing on those cases. Whereas if you have a contested divorce, then you have to go to court, and the court would have to hold a hearing.
Betts says there are a few steps to take to file for a divorce.
So either party can file a divorce petition against the other party. That other party would be served with that petition, and they would have 20 days to file an answer to it. Either party can ask the court to divide and distribute the marital property, to award alimony, court costs, and attorney's fees. And then once the divorce is granted, the court will start making rulings about those other issues.
And if that sounds like a lot to you, it may leave you wondering how long the whole process actually takes.
In a no-fault divorce situation, you have to have 6 months of separation, which means that you're either living separate and apart, separate households, or if you're living under the same roof, you're occupying separate bedrooms and not having relations with each other. Once that 6-month period of separation is up, then the court can issue a final decree. It doesn't mean you can't file for the divorce before the 6 months. It just means that the court will not issue the final decree until after that time.
And now the question that Betts gets all the time, when can I start dating again?
Well, a lot of people start dating while they're still married. And while there's nothing illegal about that, it can cause grounds for the other party to seek a divorce. We call it adultery. There could be other grounds: desertion, abuse, habitual drunkenness.
But of course, Betts says you should always ask your lawyer if you're unsure about anything, so the process is as simple as possible.
Now, Dean Betts' areas of practice also include family and domestic law, property division, adoption, a whole bunch more. So if you're seeking advice in that area, then, well, he knows what he's doing.